Hi all, it's Miyake from Bringforth, and this is set 38, part 1. And I'd like to discuss 3 topics. One is the Masters update I finally did, and I didn't play the game because I can't get the saves to work. I may be able to get them to work with time, but not at the short amount of time that I had to try. But I could compress all of the things that I would actually change into a short update. It's 75,000 soldiers, 20,000 police, 8,500 internal security. Currently we have 1,000. But it seems fairly clear that we actually need a significant internal policing at the moment due to the current situation. Someone asked me if I wanted to explain to the forum why I'm doing the podcasts, what the service is, what kind of service I'm offering. And 2 nuclear power plants, 10% of the coal production of 1 nuclear power plant, around 80% renewable, fully nationalized military production of individual things will appear as industry expands, so that all military gear is actually built by the state in a state-owned majority company. Partially nationalize things like butchery and other things which can be harmful to avoid things like halal. And more satellites as space age is incoming. That is basically the list of updates. That's about the size of it. And that was basically the entire list. And I want to discuss 2 other topics. That was all I wanted to say for my Masters gameplay, because that is basically all for my state. It looks good for another year. I'm in somewhere in the 2030s, so you guys have a few years to catch up and see if my model is actually accurate. And I've been thinking about the ethnic look of my nation. And from what I can tell, I actually want the people of this country to be a tiny bit brown. And I don't mean brown in the sense of Latina or brown as in black, because those are far too far into the extreme. I mean more in terms of perhaps outline color, or depth of color is perhaps a word that could be better explained. On a scale of 0 to 100, it would perhaps be 3 in terms of going from white to the other colors, but it would still be exceptionally white. So it seems like our immune system isn't working properly without other ethnicities in the breeding pool, at least in some form. So it seems like that is what we should aim for, to have the healthiest biosystem for our humans. And I'd like to mention that Trump deserves praise because he's managed to make the US economy grow by 4.2% in GDP growth. He has managed what he set out to do. He set out to do to expand the US economy, and he's managed to expand the US economy. So from where I'm standing, he has done a good job. So I'm communicating with a patron and trying to get some kind of idea of what he's actually asking me to do. So make one about my spiritual background and why I became interested in doing the podcast and the service, something like that, yeah. So I will have a fourth topic for this one, and I'd like to mention that I have this terrible feeling that I'm forgetting or overlooking something. Like there's this key word that I know or phrasing that I know that would make me, I don't know, a millionaire or something really weird. I don't really think it's about money as such, but there is a definitive aspect of getting a few hundred million. Like I'm missing something, like there's something that I'm not getting about the current environment. And it seems to me it's not a job or education or sexuality or even getting these new technical gadgets like iPhones and such. It doesn't seem to be any of those things. It's like there's a key phrase the universe knows that I should know, but I can't really verbalize. It's like, please take me out of this part of the simulation. It's something like a prayer, but not actually a prayer, like real communication with somebody above or somebody below or somebody somewhere that would produce a result. And it doesn't seem to get there. There seems to be something lacking, and I don't really know what. So I don't like the sensation, but in other words, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And to the topic of why I'm doing this podcasts, like I said in short, this is a better way to keep track of all my thoughts and ideas. That isn't really the core of it. I started as an alternative healer. I did hands-on healings and guided meditations, and I can actually teach hands-on healing quite well. And I decided to start doing these podcasts because it felt like my writing wasn't sincere enough. It didn't get my spirit across no matter how much I tried. And these podcasts, they seem to be doing it for me. Like I seem to be able to answer questions and be more like myself with technology instead of less like myself. So from what I'm seeing, these podcasts are working rather well for me. Anyway, that's all for these things. I will expand on these answers if there are questions. Also, I started watching the Anime Gate